This is the first time my film shown in a European film festival. I told the distribution department to promote the film to some festival, and they connected this festival. I feel a great pleasure on this. Before, I win some award in Golden Horse, the Taiwan Golden Horse Film Award in editing job. This is also a film I edit myself. I do the editing, I do the producing, script writing, directing, and editing. Yes.
Okay, do we have any more? Another question here. Oh no.
In the beginning, when you introduced the film, you said that your friend did a screenplay and you disagreed with certain things and that's why you made it. I just wonder, what is it that you disagreed with and why, and what were the differences?
Okay, the play which Raymond told write the script is a stage play. He keep the original two brother and one sister. They have a lot of argument. They have a lot of discussion on father's issue. Makes the whole thing more like a soap opera. There's too much talking, and doesn't feel. And I feel better concentrate on one character, and then the character can focus more on not only the father's problem, but the missing husband's problem and her kids' problem, and make the whole thing more dramatic and easier, and more focused and more concentrate on one character. The play has too much talk between the brother and sisters about the father's issue. That's not. I don't feel comfortable on that. It's too much TV drama.
Just want to get me moving. That's what it is.
Like you just said, this is your first ever film to be shown in the UK. I was just wondering, what are your future plans? Like, are you planning to make any more films?
Yes. For the last 20 years, I has a lot of focus on theatrical work as a stage musicals producer and stage play drama and directing the stage play. But start from this film, I will more go back to film industry and more on the film directing position, because I want to do more comedy in China. Chinese young director, they are not putting a lot of effort and concentration on comedies, because comedy is hard to get award. Okay, they want to do more drama. They more focus on how to make drama. They not really learn a lot or focus on comedy making. And I would like to do more comedy in the future time. After this film, a lot of invitation from Beijing, even Taipei, want me to do comedy for them. And now I'm having 3 different films contract on directing work, all comedy. And my next film will be teenage comedy, shooting from Hangzhou to Sichuan, the western part of China. Is teenage comedy. I think comedy in Chinese got a huge market because the city grew up and a lot of pressure living in the city. They want comedy, like 80s in Hong Kong. And the Chinese director, they make quite a number of comedy, but they mainly focus on dialogue, use a lot of dialogue, talking. And my training from 80s to 90s in Hong Kong movie industry, making comedy better do it in visual, using visual, body language, montage, using visual to do comedy. So I would like to do my best and in the future time. As I recall, Hitchcock made his last film at 76, and David Lynn, Passage to India, 74, and this all my idol. So I would like to make, as long as I am living, I would like to make comedy, focus and concentrate in comedy.
Do we have any more questions? I've got a very quick question, Mr. Kosa. Is that you've talked a lot about your films, your comedy films in the 80s and the 90s. Of course, the very famous All's Well Ends Well was a massive, massive hit. I just wondered, in the 10 years that you haven't been, directing films, what your thoughts are on contemporary Hong Kong cinema over the last 10 years. How has it changed, and what's different about it from when you were making films?
The most important point I see in the last 10 years, Hong Kong movie industry, they lost the 主流係咩？主流 mainstream. In the 80s, mainstream is family comedy. That's mainstream. But for the last 10 years, it just lost. Like this, a family comedy seldom produced for the last 10 years in Hong Kong. I think the internet changed the people's a lot. Means different group of people got different group of taste. Even from 18 to 22, they have all different tastes. Some see Hollywood movie, some see very local movie, and the taste is so different. Some see comedy, some watch a love story. Different people got different tastes. It is so different with 80s. I think internet got a lot of change to younger generation, and people watch only what they like to watch, and everybody can focus on their very, very small feeling, a different feeling. Everybody chasing different feeling in the movie, and you just cannot say which is the mainstream.
Any more questions? I've got one. Sorry. You've been working in theatre for the last 10 years, so I was wondering if that's affected how you're directing now.
Yes, there's a lot of influence. When I go back to the film directing position, I feel that I'm more concentrate on how to use close-up and how to use editing, cutting to tell the story. Suppose there's a very short scene with the maid doing cleansing the lamb, and then she fall to the old man. When I edit it, I always thinking, what's the next shot? What's the first shot? Use the wide shot to start the scene, or use what shot? Then what shot? Then what? Then to create the scene, I choose the foot step on the chair, step on the chair to start. Then to cut the wide shot means now I'm more concentrate on how to use the shot, how to use the montage to tell the story. More than 90s or even more than 80s, because after I go through the theatrical and then I come back to film industry, I will more focus and concentrate on editing, montage, using visual to tell the story. My last almost 20 years experience in theater, I think theater, what's the most charming in theater is the performers, sing and acting, dancing, their ability, their charisma in performing, because it's live, no NG, no take two, no stand-in. So that's the most charming in theater. But if we go to movie, film industry, we must use a lot of montage, editing, more focus on how you edit the film, and use close-up, and use editing to create the visual impact. That's my change this time.
Okay, unfortunately, I think that's all we have time for. I would say again, my sincere thanks and honour that you have allowed us to screen your film, and of course that you've taken the time out of your schedule to come along to the East Winds Film Festival and talk to the audience and the students here about your process of filmmaking. Mr. Koza, for anybody who doesn't know the back catalogue of work that he's been involved in, it is second to none, and it's an absolute honour that you've come along to our festival. I'd like to thank you on behalf of the Film Festival and the students here at Coventry University. Thank you very much, Mr. Koza. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to be starting our